Okay, let's keep going. And in this video, we'll create a new GenAI app and we'll create a workflow type application. Okay, think of a workflow as an orchestration of tasks. You do step A, then you do step B, and then you do step C. Okay, that's basically all what a workflow is. Now, a platform like Defy can do workflows, so can a platform like Zapier, so can a platform like Power Automate, so can a platform like Make, so can a platform like N8N. There's so many different workflow orchestration tools out there that it's great that something like Defy has this, but I'll be honest, I would prefer it. It's not the best workflow tool out there in my opinion. And the reason for that is because it contains amazing connectors and tools, but there are much better workflow tools out there that have much stronger ecosystems, like Power Automate or Zapier. The good thing about this workflow capability, though, is you can integrate workflow and agents together, which is really great, actually. And we'll talk about that in a later video. But as soon as we start building workflows, you'll see that there's kind of limitations as to kind of what you can build. It is good for LLM related workflows, but you could build something very similar in kind of all the orchestration tools that are out there. But to make this a comprehensive course, let's go through it. So we'll create a new workflow. We'll call it Marketing Plan Generator, and then we'll click Create. Now, a workflow, the nice thing about this platform is that it has a great visual interface of visualizing your workflow. Okay, so workflow starts from this trigger point here, and then you can add blocks to it. Blocks are basically just steps in your workflow, right? So for example, let's go ahead and add an LLM block. All right, this is a large language model block, and now we can do a particular task in this block. We can call an LLM and get something from it. Okay, we can set up properties of the actual task itself, like the model, the context, the system, and so on and so forth. So in this case, for example, let's go ahead and change the model. We're going to change it to GPT-4o Mini. All right. And we need something that we should do here is create a system prompt. So we'll say something like generate a tagline for this promotion. Okay, perfect. And then we'll go ahead and call another large language model. And here we'll say generate a good marketing blog post given this promotion and tagline. Okay, and we'll change the model for this as well to GPT-4o Mini. So in this case, we're creating a workflow that creates a marketing plan for us. It first creates the tagline of that marketing plan or the promotion. It then takes that. Oh, wait, what? Did it not type? Huh. I guess it didn't type. Let me type it again. Generate a marketing plan based on this promotion and tagline. Okay, perfect. And the last thing we're going to do is we are going to end this workflow. All right, so this workflow, very, very simple, but obviously as you'll soon see, and especially you'll see later on in the course when we talk about workflow orchestration, it can get very complex and very sophisticated. In this case, we need a user to put in an input. Okay, so we're going to go ahead here and create a new input field. And what we're going to say over here, the input field, we'll call it, what is the promotion? Let me just make that little p. And then we'll put it over here, promotion. Okay, perfect. And that is required. And then we'll need to add that variable here. So generate a tagline for this promotion, generate it for using this variable as promotion. So whatever the user types in gets passed into this system prompt that then generates a tagline, which we'll then use in LLM2. So in the LLM1 block, we want to make sure that we only return the tagline. So we'll say here, only return the tagline. Okay. And then we create an output variable, which is called text. Now, the great thing about workflows is you can use outputs of one block as inputs to another block. And actually, we already did this actually with this one right here. The output of this block is promotion, and we're using the variable promotion in this block over here, right? So now we're going to use the output of this block, which is going to be a tagline, as the input to this block here, okay? So we'll click LLM. We'll say your generate a marketing plan based on this promotion, and then we'll put in the promotion in parentheses. So we'll call the promotion variable and this tagline. And the tagline actually comes from this LLM output here. And how to access that is you just type this in, and you can see over here, these are all the variables from start, which is this block here. And these are all the variables from LLM, which is this block here, okay? So in this case, we'll select text. And we'll say again here, only return the marketing plan, okay? And now, finally, we have to end the workflow with an end block. So we click end, and we need to create an output variable, okay? In this case, we'll have three variables that will output. First will be the user's original promotion, okay? The next output variable will be the tagline, which is, again, the output of LLM text. And then the final, last but not least variable will be the marketing plan, which we know is made in the LLM2 block. So we're just going to put here LLM2 text. Okay? And there we go. That's it. Let's make sure we save our stuff. And then let's test it out. Okay, so to test it out, let's go ahead and click run. And now we need to put in an input. So after we put in input and click start one, it will go through the actual flow itself. In our case, this is a promotion. So we want to create a promotion for a watch that also tells you, that also tells you how, I'll say how healthy you are. Heartbeat, blood pressure, etc. Now let's see if this works, because it might be over the number of characters. Yeah, 48 characters. So let's go ahead and actually increase that. So we'll go back over here. We'll go to promotion. We'll click edit. And we'll actually increase this to 480 or 256. That's the max, clearly. We can make this a paragraph to make this a bit longer, but it's fine. Let's just do 256. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, so it's already saved here. I'll click start run. And you can kind of visually see what's going on. So it did this. It found here, time for health, your wellness, on your wrist. It then found the marketing plan over here, which is great. So now it's just going towards, it's just basically building the marketing plan. So it's on LLM2, and now it's ended. There we go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay, perfect. So we can see over here, we have our tagline, and we also have the marketing plan for this tagline for this promotion as well. Okay, and if we want, we can even see over here the, over here the detail. So the input was this thing what we had put in, and then the output, here's the promotion, basically what we had put in. Here's the tagline, time for health, your wellness, on your wrist, and then here's the full marketing plan here. We can even increase that to make it a little bit easier to actually see. Okay, you can also go through tracing. You can see what was used as an input to LLM2. For example, as an input to LLM2, it said over here, generate a marketing plan based on this promotion. And again, we overwrote the variable here. So it says a watch that also tells you how healthy you are. So this is a variable that was our input. And then the tagline was also a variable that was the output of this LLM block here. Okay. And there we go. Now we can go ahead and publish this. We can integrate it into our application. We can put this into an API. We can make our own standalone app. It's all done for us. Diffie, or Diffy rather, handles all the architecture that we need. And that is an example of using workflow. Again, workflow, great feature that Defy has, great to integrate into the specific tools. But you can see that the universe of connectors is very limited. It doesn't have things like approvals and things like that. You have to kind of make that separately. So it's a great tool to use. But if you're just looking for an orchestration tool and you don't care about Defy, there are definitely other, in my opinion, at least better tools out there. But we'll definitely go through this in more detail later on in the course if you are going to use Defy at your organization. Awesome.